Welcome to the Vision Profiles Podcast. Join us, dedicated Apple Vision Pro users, as we dive into everything from hardware and software to apps and the latest updates in the world of Apple Vision Pro. I'm Marty, a faculty member at a Midwest university, podcaster, and an Apple product fan.
I'm Eric Bolden. I worked in IT, but my interest is in finding interesting ways to freeze while taking pictures of plants and birds and panoramic sequences.
And I'm Dave Ginsburg, the host of the In Touch with iOS podcast. I am passionate about technology, especially Apple, and use it in real-world experience as an IT professional and iPhone subject matter expert. I learn new things about the Vision Pro every day.
Eric was just transfixing us with stories of how to make it snow, colored snowflakes. Eric, do you want to explain?
Well, as soon as it gets cold enough, and it's definitely there this week, you can take hot, just short of boiling water in a cup, walk outside the door, throw it up in the air, and then have it fall back down as kind of a snow-like or icy substance. And if you add food coloring to it, you can get colors.
So question. Do you have to not use like a ceramic cup because the shift from the temperature of being really hot to being outside in the cold?
Well, I mean, the cup is fine because you don't want to be out there for very long. You're just stepping out long enough to throw air, hot water up in the air. Then you go back inside and watch it all come back down again. The challenge for me and the worry for me is I kind of want to get a video of that, like wearing my Vision Pro, and that I'm not entirely sure if that is a wise thing to try. Because standing out in 15 degree below weather and throwing water up in the air and watching it come down at me, I think might be a problem.
Could you get someone just to go out there with a 16 or 17 Pro camera?
Yeah, and shoot. That I'm definitely gonna do. So and I've heard that you can't use green food coloring because when it's really cold, green food coloring turns blue.
So what does blue turn into?
I think that stays blue, but I'm now curious, so I might try.
Don't we all turn blue when it's really, really cold?
Yes, pretty much.
All right. We have got a few short items in the show tonight. There is but we have some really cool apps. I spent the last hour or so going through the apps that were suggested and that we had contributed. We have a shared chat over the week, and Eric and Dave throw articles in there that they've picked up on and apps that are associated with it. So we've got some cool apps for you on the show tonight. Nothing new with the beta. Of course, it was a federal holiday today. We record this on Monday the 19th, which is Martin Luther King Day. And so you don't see a lot of stuff generating and coming out. Then maybe tomorrow, if it comes out tomorrow, I'll put together a short post and get that out for you tomorrow night on what we know about it. And Dave, of course, I'm sure we'll talk about it on In Touch with iOS on Thursday if a beta comes out with Vision Pro. The NBA stuff has kind of taken hold, and there was a lot of good news last week about it. We had quite a few links to articles in it, and there's a few leftovers in the articles that we have. So this one comes out of Spyglass, and it is a Vision Pro slam dunk, and all the wonderful things that explores how Apple Vision Pro fundamentally changes NBA viewing through immersive spatial perspectives, highlights courtside viewpoints, spatial audio, just a very positive review. raises questions, however, about scalability, cost, and how often fans would realistically go to immersive video. I have about 3 or 4 of these before we have one or two patent stories. Another one comes from Mac Stories. This came out this week. Immersive Lakers game now widely available on Apple Vision Pro. And it's the January 9th Bucks at Lakers Apple Immersive. And then coming out of Find Articles, Apple Vision Pro Courtside NBA Test delivers a mixed thrill, where a person writing this article praises the sense of scale, realism, and spatial audio immersion, concludes that the experience is impressive but not yet a full replacement for live or TV viewing. Well, I might argue it's a replacement for TV viewing, but unless you're Jack Nicholson and you have courtside seat at the Lakers game, I think it's probably a better seat in the house than most people get when they go to the Lakers game. And then tried Apple's most ambitious Vision Pro feature yet, and it let me down in the best way. This is coming out of ZDNet and talks about immersive video in the NBA as being a bold spatial computing test by Apple, notes the emotional impact and the novelty of it while acknowledging some of the rough edges that are going on, suggests that Apple is kind of prioritizing long-term shots over short-term polish right now. And, you know, we've had a lot of critique about how we want more immersive video. We want more immersive video. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we just want to have more content to play with. And then finally, and I kind of want to open this up to discussions after that, is a Reddit post that I think Eric found that's good for everybody who's interested in seeing this. It is, and we have the link to the Reddit post, update your NBA app to 1.6.5. This build fixes an issue which required users to re-authenticate or reinstall the app after NBA ID sign up before accessing Apple immersive content. So it gives you some ideas about that. Have you taken any further look at this, or are you done with the Bucks and the Lakers at this point?
No, I watched most of it. That update came out just soon after I did it. We talked about it last week because it was 1.6.5. So, and I did have to because I had a new account, had to do it. So, no, I watched it. I gave my opinion. I mean, I found it to be okay. I wish I would have heard more of the basketball hitting the court and more sound effects and such, other than just seeing things tossed around. And I mean, it was a good experience and it's immersive, but it's got room for improvement, that's for sure.
Eric?
And I'd have to say it seems that it's a small development team working on this app, but they seem to be responding as feedback comes in. So I'm hoping that they kind of play around with some sound options. I think that every couple of games we'll see improvements put into place as feedback comes back. This first one was just could they make it work? And some of the comments on getting to the game 24 or so hours afterwards was confusing or didn't quite work. I think all of that will start smoothing out. I noticed Canada, I believe, hasn't been able to watch. They have to VPN into the US to be able to see it, but many other countries could watch. So I'm not quite sure what's up with that.
Yeah. Well, I took a look at it again, little bits and pieces of it, and I kind of still think it's it's a point to concept that Apple should continue to work. And I think there's a fan base that would enjoy seeing their teams through at least a couple of these games season wise in terms of seeing what the experience would be to sit courtside.
Absolutely.
Next, yeah, what'd you say, Eric?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I would be watching the games if it wasn't immersive. That was
Huh.
enough to kind of pique my interest again.
Yeah, and if they move things around, one one of the complaints from one of these articles was that the camera positions are not in the right place, and I'm trying to figure out where else do you want the camera positions. Um, you know, do you want them? I guess in the corners so you can see action from that angle. The person was asking a lot. I think to pick out the camera positions at this point, and there's no reason those can't change. So, just a couple of patents or a couple of interesting things to pursue this week. Beyond Face ID, Apple pursues FMWC LiDAR for ultra secure, spoof resistant eye identification. And this article is basically talking about the patent that Apple has put together. And this came out just a couple of days ago. That is used to really try and look at eye and eye recognition. And it has a flow chart in here, generate three-dimensional volumetric data associated with identifying information. And is the three-dimensional volumetric data in the shape of an eye? Yes or no? And then it goes back and asks all these sorts of yes/no questions to create a flow chart to determine different aspects of what the user's doing or not doing. With this in mind, it could enable continuous or passive identity verification in spatial computing. And it points to a future where Vision Pro generations emphasize security and presence awareness. That the headset itself has got a presence awareness of what people are doing and how they're using it. So I don't know. Anything remarkable about that?
I think the potential of being able to do identification even if somebody has their eyes closed is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will be an option. The higher accuracy is good. The idea that somebody stealing your eyeball to authenticate to your device isn't going to work. I'm highly in favor of that.
Yeah. Yeah. All somebody needs is a spoon in your eyeball and they're in your headset.
Yeah. So this is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the computer talking to me or I just feel like I'm talking back to the computer. When that little eye vision thing comes up and it starts scrolling around, I look directly at that. It's sort of like that's going to help my eye print. If I'm not looking around waiting for it to end, I'm looking directly at that to open up whatever or pay for whatever I'm asking it to pay for in terms of it. So it's kind of a fun scenario. Let's see. Next kind of patent that is suggested is a story that was really from Apple Insider. And the idea here is that Apple Vision Pro could gain an Apple Pencil-like controller. Now that looks like a fatty. I mean, that's one big. That's like that's you don't roll them that thick. Let's just put it that way.
It's like a cigar.
Yeah, it's a big cigar. But the diagram shows sort of all the potential for where different sensors could be on this device. They call it an Apple Pencil, but it looks nothing like what would be an Apple Pencil. We're used to much more thin styluses, but this is meant to be a handheld controller, marker shaped. They're kind about that. And They show different aspects. The patent showing proposed device could, with 2 different virtual tips that you could put on it if you wanted to do that. Just kind of interesting bit on a patent, and maybe saying we'll be looking at Apple controllers. And then an article by Gadget Hacks along those same lines. So I tried to pair them together, was with the Apple Pencil Vision Pro could support transforming computer. And this is really pretty good article. There's a lot of content in it, and basically highlights the benefits for creators frustrated with mid-air gesture fatigue and trying to do things like that, and reinforces Apple's long-term strategy about hybrid input and ways that they could be using styluses. I have the Sony handheld devices, and they basically work like any, like Meta devices or any. It's kind of point and shoot, basically. There's not a lot of nuance in it. I'm not playing games with it, so that's probably why I'm not seeing the nuance. The X button or the Y button, or the circle or the square. Those kind of things that you see on Sony controllers is just not part of. And the menu choices and things like that are on the devices, but not really utilized much by the way I use them. So it could be that this single device might have that same kind of granularity in terms of what it could be doing for that. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts.
No.
All right. Let's go to Red Bull and Red Bull Racing. This article came out, and just on the 17th, Red Bull Racing launches 2026 F1 car using Vision Pro headsets. And Red Bull Racing used Vision Pro for an immersive car reveal. Demonstrates enterprise and experiential marketing, kind of going beyond the usual, and signals the legitimacy, really, of the Apple Vision Pro as an enterprise device used for in professional contexts. So let's see. I'm going to give a shot at this, and that link is dead. So interesting. This comes from Redmond Pie as that article. Guys, anything on this? F1, Red Bull, Extreme Sports.
I mean, it's nice to see they're still interested in it and seem to be still using the technology. So I think they'll continue to develop things, continue to produce content. Hopefully we'll get, a follow-on set of videos.
Yeah. Okay, now I have to go to this next one, and I'm going to blame this whole thing on Eric.
Really?
This one's on you.
I'm pretty sure I'm innocent.
You're
So
the one that
proven
brought
guilty.
it to our attention. CORTIS debuts Go
Oh, I'm
on
kind of sorry.
Apple Vision Pro. It is a K-pop boy band.
Do I have to watch it?
I don't know. There's a reveal at the end. I say that because I want to make you watch it all the way to the end. I didn't get that far. Eric, you watched it?
Well, I watched a tiny bit, but I'm still waiting for it to download because there's like a lot of data. So I'm curious to hear what you thought, because it
Some of the
sounded good.
we have two articles on this because I just felt I needed to do it justice by you, Eric. It's it's boys in a box, basically. I mean, it's shot from a single camera. It has some spatial capability, and you you have them enclosed in a stage that has like a wooden floor, and then some neon on the walls. I can't remember it. I was just too traumatized. So they come in real close to start up,
Too
and
close.
too close. I do not want teenage boys that close to my face.
No,
And I'm
it's
not
never
sure
good.
anybody does. Yeah.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, it's just wrong. It is, even for, and then some of the lyrics of this song, I put it because I thought, did I just hear what I heard? And so I switched it onto subtitles in
Uh-huh.
English, and it
And
wouldn't
did
give
you
me any
hear?
subtitles in English, which tells me they were singing the song in English, and what they were saying was, yeah, those kind of, and I'm not that, but, I don't want a 14-year-old boy singing to any 14-year-old girl, I'm going to F you, baby. It's just,
Yeah. Yeah,
oh
that's not
boy.
appropriate.
And so, but it's cool. And I'll tell you, they all, I just felt so bad for them because I wanted to take them all out and get them a Whopper and like an extra size milkshake because they looked
Biggie size.
anorectic. They really looked anorectic. And I guess that tickles some people's fancy, but it was just sad. And then they had these really oversized clothes on it. It's like, have worked in treatment, and it's like somebody very small and frail wearing really big oversized clothes. Yeah, it's kind of a sign. That's a warning sign that there's some eating disorder going on there. And they're all, torn up and all. They look like they came, from the hip skating stores, but I don't think skaters would wear this crap of what they had on. So
So from the technical side, is it just that this is kind of an initial experiment and they're filming it the way they would film a typical YouTube video of behind the scenes training thing, and they just don't know how to film immersive?
no, it's not even behind the scenes training. What it is, you get the first couple of minutes is each of the members of the band coming up and saying some line in front of the camera, like speaking the line in front of the camera.
Ah,
And you get a minute of that, and then they all go off camera, and then they start up. And when they start to sing, it's all auto tuned. It's like Dave could be in the band. It doesn't matter. They're just speaking dirty words with an accent, and it's auto tuned. So there's no vocal talent there. And the spatialness is you've got two lines of guys standing on stage, one foreground and one a little bit background. And the guy in the foreground, who's too close to you anyways, is doing stuff, and you can kind of see that they don't use spatial photography very good because they've got a singular camera in one direction. Not to make a boy band joke, but they have a singular camera, posed in that direction, and yeah, you can't tell anything different that this is spatial from the fact that it would have been shot with a straight camera. and you would have had this. You would know that there was a second line there. There's nothing giving you that piece. So when they all start singing an auto tune, the one singer comes up, does his thing, and then he cuts to the side, and another singer comes forward, and you see that the guy that just left circle around and come in the back of the line. So they're kind of roly-poly, they're round the rosy, sort of moving singers in and out. Just disappointing. This was not done for video enlightenment. It wasn't done anything for the purpose. It was done because this will get clicks on it from a certain demographic, from a certain part of the world. It really does not add or contribute to the mechanics or the excitement of the device at all. So
that's too bad.
Yeah, thanks. You set me up with that.
I'm so sorry.
I am gonna find some immersive video of animals mating and send it to you, Eric.
No, thank you.
I would have rather watched animals mating. We have 2 articles on that. Cortis debuts Go on Apple Vision Pro. That's from the Chosun Daily.
Okay.
Do they have any comments on this? No, they don't. They don't put any comments on that. I would have loved to have seen the comments. And then we have a Reddit link that CORTIS, or I don't know what you call them, immersive is not good. By far, it's the worst immersive experience. While the boys are talented, no, the auto-tune is talented. The immersive experience is awful. Terrible lighting, fairly fixed camera. Feels cheap, low effort, not up to Apple standards. I'm exhausted just from that experience. Here's something that sounds cool. Apple Vision Pro owners will get a great assortment of classic arcade games in VR soon.
That looks promising.
Cool. Yeah, that does look promising.
Yeah, you're not getting the game like on a screen. You're getting a game like the arcade game where you walked up to the booth and the game was on that. It's going to happen in February. There is the nostalgic Retrocade for Apple Vision Pro, allows players to walk around, play classic arcade titles, and inspect cabinets in VR. Apple Arcade adds more games to its catalog each month, but sometimes it turns a history lesson. And the games that will be in Retrocade include Asteroids, Bubble Bobble, Breakout, Centipede, Galaga, Pac-Man, and Space Invaders.
Where's Missile Command? that would fit right in there.
I think you need to get CORTIS right on it. Have the boy band put their math skills together, and they can do that. The games are presented on iPhone and iPad in a similar way to how they were originally released, but with modern features that include unlockable achievements, global leaderboards, and Bluetooth controller support. Apple Vision Pro users will be able to have more of an arcade experience by seeing the arcade machine in physical space. They can check out the artwork from the cabinets as well as play the games from the arcade machine's display. So that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, Dave, my question would be, where's Zaxxon? Zaxxon was the only one of those games I ever played and had any talent for, because after I lost a couple of quarters on the other ones, I'd move on to something else. But Zaxxon was cool.
Come on, I want Pong too. It's classic.
Oh,
Pong.
yeah.
Pong.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll add more.
What's neat is one of those Pong tables that we had at our pizza joint that we would go to, where you
Oh,
sit down across from somebody, and you could do that kind of cool on a Vision Pro with somebody else on a Vision Pro if you could share that, and then you could play against each other on a Pong table,
hmm.
which would be cool. So we've got 4 people in the chat room. Statler is back and has joined us in the chat room. Other folks can join in the chat room at youtube.com/at Vision Profiles and look for the live link, and you'll see the chat associated with it. Yeah, I think this will be cool. I'm
Agreed.
going to have so much junk in my living room. They talk about the M2 or M5 processors are excellent at emulation, running relatively modern titles fairly easy. It's not clear if there'll be expansions to the title, as licensing can be fraught, but we hope there will be. Retrocade will be available under Apple Arcade February 5th. Apple Arcade costs $6.99 a month. It's also included in Apple One. So
$6.99 a month if you don't have Apple Arcade.
right. If yeah, $6.99. You can get Apple Arcade separately as $6.99, but if you have Apple
Oh,
One, it's packaged. So
right.
you get that. You don't have to worry about it.
I misunderstood.
Yeah. Okay. I think that runs us through all of the news stuff. So let's talk a little bit about apps. And I'll start with the first one, primary news in depth. I went to this. I saw this announcement through Reddit. People are posting like their new apps and opportunities on Reddit. And I think that's where Eric's, getting some, because he'll send me stuff that I've seen, I've just read like an hour or 2 hours ago on Reddit. And this one is meant to be sort of a news channel, if you want to call it that. So people are going to different parts of the world and taking those that can do spatial photography are taking it and including it. Has kind of a neat icon, sort of a modern day CBSI. It is free at this point. And I think I thought I paid something for this, but I guess I didn't. There were other ones that I
No,
paid for tonight.
it's free.
Yeah.
I hope they keep
So
going with it, because this is a neat way of doing this.
say that, Eric. What do you think the way of doing it is?
Well, I mean, I hope they keep going with this,
Yeah.
because the little clips that get uploaded to YouTube, it's hard to get a sense of everything going on around. So if you get just a little bit of immersion, that seems to make a big difference as far as where are the sounds and who's in front and behind, and some of the same issues with watching a basketball game and where is everything.
Yeah.
If you're seeing some newsworthy thing happening right in front of you, being able to see all the participants and kind of look left and right a bit, I think helps.
Yeah. I watched on this one a uh, area of Ukraine that was bombed,
Mhm.
and
I watched it too.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the guy talking about, we saw the light, saw the flashing of the light, and then immediately scuttled to get into the bathroom where he could feel a little more safer. And it didn't to me, it didn't take full advantage of the spatial piece because you had a very tight
Oh.
shot and then everything was kind of blurry around it, like you get when you try to expand it into a kind of Vision Pro AR VR kind of headset. But yeah, I like the idea of sort of a community, a world community where people could be able to send these videos and they could be used for information in this way. Sounds pretty cool. They should be doing this in Minneapolis
Yeah.
because it's just interesting. Step into the story. It's called Primary News in Depth. And
Yeah.
we also
Yeah,
have
it
a
was.
link. Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to give you my review of it since I did spend some time with it tonight.
Yeah.
That yeah, obviously it's got some work to do. We need to get more. We got to get a lot more videos because it was limited. I did watch that Pakistani floods, and boy, they did some pretty good immersive video with that one. Because you got people walking right up to you, and boy, that water was just disgusting. I don't know how any of those young children, especially, not get sick. But all the videos were interesting. So I'd say at least I think it's a good start for a platform if it takes off. But yeah, I'm going on the assumption this is all submitted videos. It's not from any prime major outlets, so that makes it a little more interesting. So you're not looking at all the the
Yeah.
the prime news outlets doing that kind of stuff. But hey, it's good to see.
Yeah, I put and somebody in this group put a Reddit link to it. And the Reddit link is a fair amount of answers and questions there. At least 18 comments. How do you know the footage is unaltered if you're not not the one shooting it? And what does unaltered mean with regard to the app's mission? Is it compressed, edited, etc.?
Yeah.
Is all the footage native spatial or is it converted 2D for the app? Primary works directly with reporters on the ground and presents their footage unaltered, is what they're saying. As we know, spatial video offers some sense of scale, proximity, and presence that allows you to witness events as they unfold in ways that traditional formats cannot. The project grew out of a simple but increasingly rare idea: trust in journalism comes from being there.
Yeah.
So, interesting, good bit of content there.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anything else on this one?
It looks like
Nope.
they're taking applications. So if somebody wants to, be an immersive journalist, they can send in a request.
No,
Yeah,
if they're
but they've
doing that,
given
that
you all
means
these. Yeah, they've given you all these nasty places to go to.
Well,
But
I
if
mean,
these
we've
are
got all the stuff going
independent
on in the
journalists.
U.S. Yeah,
Yeah,
head to the Twin Cities.
yeah,
Sure.
that's right. That's right. Twin Cities. Join the Twin Cities with the other $1,500 troops that are going to be there soon. Apparently, according to the news. Tubular Pro. I don't know who added that.
I think I sent it in because they're doing a test flight for the 2.0 version of
Okay.
Tubular
Yep.
Pro,
No,
which I have
I
not
just
grabbed yet, but I figured it's a good
I
reminder
did.
to try it out.
Yeah, I did. I have thoughts.
You have thoughts?
So
Okay, good. I had tried this in the 1.0 version and didn't have a lot to say about it, but apparently the improvements with the 2.0 version, looking to see if they have any specifics about it. They don't break it down by version number. But yeah, it's in test pilot right now. And I loaded it, or went to load it yesterday. When I clicked on the link, it took me in the test pilot. It told me I was already sort of on the, or test flight. I was already on the test flight for it. Um, it is kind of, and they say the best place to surf your videos. It's really a YouTube uh, uh, theater, or a place where you can look at YouTube. And I went in there and had not signed in on my YouTube account on it. And I got a bunch, and I'm looking at it, it's like, this is not my YouTube account. It was just a bunch of crap. Then I
Yeah.
realized that's YouTube when you don't sign into your YouTube account.
Yes, it
You
is.
don't have your curated stuff come up. Dave, you had some comments on this?
Well, just fresh from you mentioning that, yeah, that was a bit of frustration trying to find how to sign into your, I have YouTube Premium, so you have to
Yeah.
fumble around. I couldn't find it. It took me a good 5 or 10 minutes to figure out just where to sign in, and then you finally figure it out. Plus I've got the keys that are set up for it, so and couldn't even get that to work, so had to kind of fumble around a little bit to get to it. But beyond that, it's cool. The other thing I kind of complain about is because I was able to get one video go to its separate window and full screen, and I was struggling to get it to open others. But when it's open, it's pretty amazing. It's got full immersive kind of simulated to it. That was a good experience. It's obvious they got some work to do. It is in test flight and it's in beta. So but I think it's a good start. And I watched MKBHD on his comparison to I think I forgot what he was talking about. But yeah, his video came up very clean and what type to be expected, because he does nothing but high quality video. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's nice to see that. I'd be interesting to see if Google does anything to this, because they're so restrictive of what to do with YouTube, especially in the Vision Pro. If I seem to remember that those got shut down pretty quickly at the beginning there. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it's been around for version 2, so maybe YouTube is just tired of touching it.
Yeah, they had version one, right? I didn't try that.
Yeah.
Now this is version 2, right?
And YouTube is focused on Galaxy right now. They've got their own distinct app there, and they, if people want to patch together something to play it on something else, maybe they're not as concerned. I had trouble signing in too, Dave. It was very weird, and it might have just been my headset. I did go through the app and play with it, not signed in, and I got to see lots of bad jokes and lots of what felt TikTok-ish sort of stuff. But when I tried to sign in, it would not take my login from my YouTube email address that I put in there. And when I got it in, they said, "Okay, let's go ahead and do this with your keys. Your automatic keys to get in." And it said, "No, you got to have your Bluetooth on." Well, my Bluetooth was on, so it wasn't connecting somehow at that point. And at that point, I said, I'm gonna look at this I'm gonna just look at this app and get out of it, because I've got other stuff I've got to do. So I don't know, Eric, did you get any chance with it?
I've been using the old one, so I haven't had a chance to update yet. There was a comment from the developer saying that some of the issues that people are experiencing and some of the conveniences of login and making the videos a little easier to get to are because they're still restricted to just using the web interface, so they don't run afoul of YouTube. So basically it's an app, but it connects using the web interface. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of workarounds that are being attempted. The Christian Sella, the developer of Juno and Apollo, sounds like he also has had similar issues. So it's here. There's improvements. YouTube should have shipped a native app or contracted for it. They don't want to. So it's good to see somebody trying. It's just really difficult.
Well, good. I'm glad you shared that information with folks about this in this particular app. Spatial film. I'm going to turn that one to Eric too. I think Eric probably contributed that. I think to our app. And spatial film is cinema beyond the frame. It's free. It has in-app purchases. And I just went ahead and clunked down. What is the purchase here for it? In-app purchase is at nine monthly premium subscription. So when I got it in there, you could do it for $10 a month, or you could do it for 3 months for $25. So I went ahead and put the 3 months for $25, and I'll go in. Every once in a while I go in, and like every month or so I go in and I shut off things that I don't want to forget to shut off, and I might shut it off at that point. But I knew if I just
Mhm.
played a month, I wouldn't have enough time to really look at this device. So look
Yep.
at this app.
Did you get a chance to try the CES immersive experience?
Oh, yes, I did, with the robots kicking butt. Because you guys had said something in the chat that came up that said, "Yeah, a robot battle."
I
And
didn't. I wasn't following what that was. Maybe I do need to check this out.
oh,
I don't.
you need to go to the CES, and we need to ask Chuck about it next time. Did you go see
Yeah.
the? Because
The
apparently
robot.
robots were everything there. Were
Oh, there were
everywhere there, and
AI
this
and
was
robots.
yeah.
And right now it's a special experience, so there's no charge. So you can
Oh,
download the
good.
app and you can take a look at that without having to pay for anything. But I like this app because they're trying to do longer form videos and make them relatively high quality, make them downloadable into the app. There's a bunch of comments when you're going to look at options and trying to decide, as far as trying to make it as viewable as possible, as high quality as possible. And it also sounds like they're working with different people. So trying to get more and more production teams up to speed on how to actually do this. So it's a good sign.
Yeah, I thought what was exciting about this was, hey, we don't have to wait on Apple anymore. We're looking at people that will through revenue, and it's like uh, POV, the app,
Yep.
what is it, immersive or what it's called, POV. Um, they're working on a revenue stream, and they can bring more videos, get them up as people contribute to that. And is it worth $10 a month? Well, who knows? But this, I think, is kind of a nice model for people who are involved in media development to be able to do this and take in some cash to do it, and provide content that is high quality content outside of the Apple ecosphere.
Hmm.
And the producers of the films are doing more than one film, and they're um, reviewing feedback, and they're getting feedback from each other. So things like the distance of the camera to the subject, camera movement, cuts between scenes, all that kind of stuff is being considered. So it's sort of the one place I've seen where there's a huge effort to try to get better and better at making the stuff work um, right at the start, instead of everybody having to learn it on a project and then go through 2 or 3 projects before they get better. So,
Yeah, I've seen.
I'm going to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, for those who are watching the stream, I went to their app, and they have a, I don't know, 30-second video that covers a lot of it, and was just playing it while Eric was talking. Yeah, it really is it is a very cool app. We have a couple of more and then we'll move to close out Sceno. I know Dave put that in this afternoon.
Yeah.
And
I discovered it, and I don't remember you guys mentioning it. So
I think we've had it in a show.
we had, okay.
Yeah, only because, yeah. So,
But it was a
this
long time ago.
Yeah,
so
it was a long
it's
time
good
ago.
Okay, good. Well, this says this is 2.0 version.
2.0.
So this is obviously new.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I found it to be fascinating. I downloaded it. You got the immersive videos of, you can tap it into your Photos app, and
Right.
it brings up all your photos from wherever you've traveled. So I saw where I had been to Vegas, or I had been to Italy, or I had been to all over the world. So it was kind of cool. Oh yeah, when I was in Hawaii, I saw, okay, yeah, I remember that. But
So
it's
did
not your
you open
photos.
up your library to the whole, to the, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah. Okay. So did I. Yeah.
yeah, I don't mind. I
Yeah.
nothing to hide. Um, so yeah, so I went to Hawaii, and it just it brings up whoever submitted. I guess I can submit photos, but I did open a couple things, and yeah, you got some pretty good 3D immersive type photos that would come up. Especially I went to El Dorado Canyon in Vegas. I was showing some of the mountainsides in there, I just thought it to be pretty fascinating the way that the maps come up, and you're able to go through and move everything, and I guess you can use you're doing the pinching to move it. So, which I think I was doing when I know what I'm thinking about, but of course. um, but yeah, it's kind of it is pretty enhanced. Enhanced there. I guess you only get about 20 views before you have to pay for it. And I think it was like $9.99. Let me check here. Annually, it's for $10, so $10 a year.
Yeah.
So pretty fascinating. I thought it was a pretty cool app.
Yeah. This is the one where I think I went in app I purchased for $24.99 or 20, yeah, $24.99 for 3 months. So they had,
Just 3 months.
Annually. Excuse me. No, I paid $9.99 for the whole year. I
Yeah.
Right.
figured that.
That's what
Yeah, I
I'm
figured
gonna
I
say.
would go ahead and pay that money for
Yeah,
that. So
get it
it
for a
was,
year to play with.
yeah. Here's what I was. Eric, did you play with this at all?
I haven't played with the 2.0 version. I played with the previous one, but I was glad
Yeah.
to see it because I hadn't realized they'd updated it. So I
Mhm.
will go back and look again because I was impressed the first time. So
Yeah. I did
Yep.
the same thing you did, Dave. I loaded
Mhm.
my library in,
Yeah.
and it was fun because when you spin the globe, you can see sort of the places that you've been, and then you zoom into it, and you could go.
Mhm.
For me, it was a lot of pictures from Turkey.
mm,
Most of them from the Turkish prison I was in for a period of time, but we won't go into that. That's another story. But there was a coffee shop that I just loved in one part of Istanbul, and took a few
hmm,
pictures there. And sure enough, I could get to those pictures, and in some cases get to the street and walk down where my
Mhm.
pictures were taken. I did that my trip to Scotland, where I was over there doing a presentation, and pictures of friends that were at a conference with me while we were in Scotland. And Aileen was there with me too, so pictures of that, and in Ireland too. So the thing that I really wanted was I wanted to say, hey, I've got this friend Eric, and I've got this friend Dave. I want to send them a link to their ability to
Yeah.
come into this app and
oh,
look at my library if they want to look at my library.
Sure.
that would be really cool.
That would be if they turn this into kind of a social media app in that sense, like a Vision Pro Instagram. That
Mm,
would be very cool. That would be very cool, and that was missing.
hmm.
So yeah, cool app. Last one was just thrown in 30 minutes before the show. Damn you.
Not by me.
Yeah, I know. This,
I actually
Eric, it's up
saw it
to you.
earlier, but I was driving and I could not paste the link.
Okay,
So
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 what's not to
Driving and
like?
pasting links. Okay.
Yeah,
so it was good. It took a little bit to get set, installed, downloaded. It's kind of big. Um, an entertainment experience, yeah. I only had time to look at one thing. I wish there was an option to say, give the person more clothes, because it always felt like maybe, if I was going to be running around all over the place, it just felt like there wasn't enough
Yeah.
protective clothing on. Or perhaps move the camera up just a little bit, because there's certain things I don't need to be focused on when I'm trying not to get killed by the big monsters as I'm watching all this. However, yes, you could see around you, you could see the action, you could, I have to say I'm not entirely sure what the point of any of this was, but the opening scene was good. The um I think you start out like now and then you go back in time to see why it is that there was a dead person on the table, and then you're kind of bouncing around and trying to find something. I didn't have time to watch the rest of the scenes, but I will go back. I don't think this is actually complete yet, so maybe it's like a series. Um, but if it was a television series, I would just watch the episodes because it was good enough. For
yeah. Here's
whatever
the
this is, I'm just going to keep watching. I'm sure somebody knows the backstory, but I was good with it.
yeah. It is Japanese anime women in lycra running around. Um, you know, who doesn't want to see that, right?
But they have
Uh,
one spot where there's like a display, and then somebody picks up a chair and is upset for some reason, smashes it into the display. The glass breaks, and then you can see all of the components and chips underneath the broken glass. I just thought that was really cool. I could watch that kind of thing all day long. I don't know
yeah,
about the people running around, but you
yeah.
know, all
If they just had more clothes, you would be able to watch chair smashing things.
oh yeah, yeah, and see the internal components, like
Yeah,
especially if they had battery systems and stuff like that. That I would watch that all day.
yeah. The first episode, which I think is a 30-minute episode, is free. Then they already have listed episode 2 and episode 3 for $9.99 a piece.
Oof.
Yeah. So if this is the never-ending story,
It could be expensive.
could be expensive. I mean,
This
with
this
the
could be a $50 movie. So if you're gonna get all the things, make sure you know somebody else that also wants to watch the episodes, and you can move your headset around or something. But
yeah, we
we'll
call
see.
this it's called Mulan 2125, and it looks like it's taking all the advantage of AR or VR, I should say, and visual spatial kind of photography, and using animated characters. These are not live action, from what we can tell. They're computer generated, and the storyline is generated from that. Apparently, like anything in 2125, it's all post apocalyptic.
Hmm.
Given what's going on today, it seems really realistic.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, that wraps for the show. I've got some comments from Statler in the chat
Lots
room.
of
You can
lots of
lots
them.
lots of comments in the chat room. And you can join the chat room at youtube.com/at Vision Profiles. That is our YouTube channel, and we broadcast live Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can join the folks in the chat room and have lots of conversation about what we're talking about and ask a few questions, and we'll try and tap into that. Let's find out where we can find the rest of our folks here. And we will go ahead and start with Eric.
I can be found on Mastodon at eabolden@mas.to. Otherwise, Monday nights, covering Vision OS stuff on Vision Profiles right here. Tuesday on Mac Voices Live, covering Mac news. And then later in the week on Thursdays, In Touch with iOS, kind of doing a roundup of everything of the week and iOS, iPadOS, and the rest of the news for the week.
All right. Dave.
Yeah, you could find me at In Touch with iOS at intouchwithios.com. YouTube channel is youtube.com/intouchwithios. We did 2 episodes this past week, so check them out. One of them was a special episode, so please check it out. You can find me here on Monday nights, Vision Profiles, Tuesday nights on Mac Voices Live, and then Thursdays for my show at In Touch with iOS, as well as the Mac show on the British Tech Network, most Fridays at the British Tech Network. And I'm on Blue Sky, Mastodon at DaveG65.
I really thank you guys for doing this and being a part of this for now 88 episodes. And that's really cool. Daniel couldn't join us tonight. Will join us again the next opportunity he can. You can find me at Gencius, at JENCIUS. And you can find that basically Blue Sky, also at mastodon.social. Monday nights here with Vision Profiles. Tuesday nights with Chuck Joyner on Mac Voices with also Eric and Dave Ginsburg talking about all stuff Mac. Thursdays with Dave Ginsburg on In Touch with iOS. Also Eric on Thursdays too. And then Friday mornings on the Mac Show when I can play hooky from work for that hour or so and join folks at the Mac Show on the British Tech Network. All my stuff is on thepodtalk.net. And check out the other programs that I put together there, and maybe some new programs coming soon. Just finished Fade to Chat, movies of the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and that episode will get out in the next couple of days. And we did a movie that everybody should see called The Awful Truth. It is from 1937, and it's Cary Grant and Irene Dunn. Funniest damn movie I've seen in a long time. Set the pace for all the rom-coms to come in the future. And the dialogue is so quip and so quick. You'll get a lot of laughs out of it, The Awful Truth. And we'll talk about it on Fade to Chat when that episode comes up. I think Brian Flanagan Arthur's a friend of ours has rented that movie because he told me he was going to rent it and look at it. So I'm curious to see what his reaction is. Thanks for tuning in to Vision Profiles. We'd love to hear from our listeners. If you have ideas or want to join an episode, email us at thepodtalknetwork@gmail.com. Our bumper music is Free Jazzy by Steve Combs, courtesy of the Free Music Archive. Learn more about us and the Vision Profile podcast at our website, thepodtalk.net. Spread the news to other visionaries. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.